Hi again, we're continuing to work on Chapter 3, the homework assignment for the My IT Lab system. In this video, we're just going to look at steps 7 and 8. All right, so in step 7, it says, in cell J6, enter a function to display the word under if the renovations are going to take fewer, less than, or equal to the median number of days. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on that. I'm going to click on J6. In J6, I'm going to type equals if, we're using an if function. From the list that appears, I can double click on the if function name to accept it. The first thing that happens for an if function is that we have to tell Excel, well, what's the test? And from our instructions, we can see that our test is, I got to remind myself what the instructions say, is the length of days for renovation less than or equal to the median days down here? Okay, so that's our test. I'm going to click on D6. And then I'm going to type in less than, equal to, and then I'm going to click on B15. Notice what Excel enters. It enters the name of the cell instead of the cell address. And that's exactly what we want to have happen. Okay, so after the test, I'm going to type a comma. Now I have to tell Excel what to do if the test is true. If the test is true, return the word under. Words, text always go in quotes. So I used my double quotes, type a comma. If it's false, return the word over. So I'm going to type that word over. Again, notice I have it in quotes. Whoopsie daisy, it has to be capitalized. It has to match exactly. And it has to be the double quotes, not the single quotes. All right, double checking there. It looks good. Add your right-hand parentheses, press enter, and then fill that on down the way. And then look at your answers to make sure they are what you expect them to be. All right, let's move on to step 7. Step 7 says in cell J6, oh no, that was step 7. Step 8 says in cell B21, enter a PMT function. So I'm going to go down to cell B21, clean out what's there, and let's start entering this PMT function to make sure it's exactly what the system's expecting. So I'm going to type equals PMT. Again, I can double click on it to accept it. The first thing I enter for the PMT function is the interest rate, and that's currently sitting here in B19. Now, our loan is for 5 years, but we're making monthly payments, so I have to take B19 and divide by 12 to account for each of those monthly payments. All right, I'm also going to type a comma to move me on to the next thing that I have to input. The next thing I have to input is the number of payments, NPR, the number of payments. So our loan is 5 years. I'm going to click on B20. Again, that's 5 years. I have to account for the months. So I'm going to do times 12 to account for each of those 12 months of the year. Add another comma. The last input variable is the present value. For us, that's the amount of the loan. So I'm going to click on B18. All good, ready to go. Add my right-hand parentheses, press enter, and oh, I'm almost done, not quite done. Notice that by default, it returns a negative amount, right? We can think of it as like it's a payment, it's a loss to my savings account because that money's coming out of there. And in the instructions, it tells us the result has to be a positive number. So I'm going to go back to B21. I'm going to click directly before the P in PMT. I'm going to add the minus sign, or you might think of it as the dash, making a negative number, adding a negative to a negative number, whatever, turns it into a positive. Press enter. There's our positive result, and those 2 steps will be done. Save your work, and I'll send another video for the VLOOK.